we start the third unit of the chapter work, energy and power, that is the law of conservation of energy. This part is based on law of conservation of energy. We have to solve numericals based on the law of conservation of energy. So let us first understand what is the principle of conservation of energy. Okay, so the principle of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created, that means you cannot create energy, and it also cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. That means the sum of all forms of energy in the universe is constant. Okay, because you cannot create energy, you cannot destroy energy. For example, if I want to convert chemical energy into light energy, we are burning a candle. Candle is made up of a chemical called wax. Okay, it is an organic compound. When wax burns, chemical energy is being converted into light energy as well as heat energy. Okay, so the chemical energy of wax is being converted into light energy, so energy is not being destroyed. Similarly, during photosynthesis, the light energy from sun is being converted into chemical energy, which is being stored in plants in the form of glucose, the food for plants. Okay, so light energy is utilized by plants and it is converted into chemical energy. So we can easily say that in both cases energy is being transformed from one form to another. Okay, so let us consider a certain situation where there is an interchange between potential energy and kinetic energy. For example, a very simple example is that an object is being dropped from a certain height, a free falling body. Okay, that means at this position the body has potential energy. Now when it is being dropped, then the potential energy is being converted into kinetic energy, because previously we have learned that potential energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its state of rest. Okay, whereas kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a body due to its state of motion. That means at this position the body is having potential energy, and as soon as it comes to motion, the potential energy is being converted to kinetic energy. Okay, now we have already studied that mechanical energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. That is, mechanical energy of an object is the sum of its potential energy and kinetic energy. At this position the body has only potential energy because it is at a state of rest. Here kinetic energy is 0. And now when it is free falling, that means it is slowly falling down, the potential energy is being converted into kinetic energy. That means the entire potential energy possessed by the body is being converted into kinetic energy, provided that there is no loss of energy in overcoming the frictional forces. Obviously air provides friction, so there will be some loss of energy due to overcoming friction. But if we do not consider, we are assuming that there is no loss in energy due to friction, due to overcoming friction. Okay, in that case we can clearly state that the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy is always a constant. Okay, so what is total mechanical energy? It is kinetic energy plus potential energy, and this is the total mechanical energy of the system, and it will always remain constant. Because it will always remain constant, why? Because entire potential energy is being converted into kinetic energy. There is no loss in energy in this scenario. Okay, so now we will try to prove that the total energy of a system is constant. That is, the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy is a constant. So let us understand how K plus U is constant, or it remains constant for a freely falling body. Let us understand. Okay, so this is the body which is having mass m and it is falling from a height, say, h. Okay, let us focus on the diagram. Okay, so this is the body which is having mass m and it is falling from a height h. It is at a distance of h from the ground. Okay, now the body comes to a position B where it has traveled a distance x, and then the body ultimately reaches ground at position C. That means from position B to C, what is the height covered by the free falling body? It is h minus x. Total height is h. From A to B it is x. Therefore from position B to C, the distance covered is h minus x. Now let us understand the sum of potential and kinetic energy at these three positions. Okay, now at position A the body was at rest, therefore initial velocity is 0, isn't it? Therefore, initial velocity is 0 at position A. Okay. So, initial velocity is 0 because the body is at rest. Clear? The body is at rest, so initial velocity is 0. Now, body is at rest means kinetic energy is also 0 because V equals to 0. We have already learned that K equals to half mv square. As V is 0, so K is 0. This means at this position A, the body only has potential energy. What is its potential energy? mgh, because it is at a distance h from the ground. Okay. Therefore, in position A, K equals to 0 and PE equals to mgh. So let us calculate the sum of K plus PE. Therefore, total energy equals to Ke plus PE, which is equals to 0 plus mgh, which is equals to mgh. That means total energy possessed by the body at the position A during its rest, at which it is at rest, is mgh. Clear? Now let us see what is the scenario at position B. Now the body has started free falling. That means initial velocity was 0. Now let the final velocity be v1. Let final velocity at position x, at this position. Okay, the body reaches through the distance x at position B after covering a distance x at B equals to v1. Okay, so let us consider the final velocity as v1. So distance covered at this position is s is x. How much has it traveled? It has traveled from h to x. Okay, position B, the distance between position A and position B is x. So in this case the distance is x. Now what is acceleration? Acceleration is equal to g, that is acceleration due to gravity. So let us find k. So first we find v. Now v equals to, therefore v square equals to u square plus 2as. From equations of motion we are trying to calculate the final velocity and then we will use it to calculate the kinetic energy. Okay, so u square is 0 square plus 2, a is g, and what is s? S is x. Clear? So what is v1? v1 equals to 2gx. Therefore at this position Ke equals to half mv square. So let us calculate the Ke at this position B, equals to half into m into, that means v1 square. Okay, that means half into m into equals to m into 2gx. This is v1 square. Okay, so just cancelling out 2, we get mgx. That means at position B, the kinetic energy equals to mgx. Now what is the potential energy? Let us calculate the potential energy at this position. Let us calculate potential energy. That means it has traveled x distance. Okay, it has traveled the distance x. Now what is the height of this body at this point above the ground? What is the distance? The distance is h minus x. Therefore potential energy at position B equals to mgh. But what is h? Here h is h minus x. That means at this point the total height was h, therefore mgh. At this point, how much distance it is above the ground? It is h minus x distance above the ground. Therefore potential energy is mgh minus x. Okay, that means Pe equals to mgh minus x. Now let us calculate the total energy at this position B. Therefore total energy equals to Ke plus Pe, which is equals to mgx plus mgh minus x. Just multiply it. That means we get mgx plus mgh minus mgx. mgx gets cancelled. mgh. Okay, see, at position A total energy was mgh, at position B total energy was mgh. Now at position C, if the total energy is mgh, we will clearly prove that total energy of the system remains constant. Clear? Now the interesting aspect comes at position C. Understand very carefully. This body is coming down. Just when it reaches the ground, it comes to rest. But just at the point before it reaches the ground, suppose just before it reaches the ground, it will attain a maximum velocity and almost all the potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy. So let us find out what is happening at position C. It is very important. Position C is most important. Okay. So let the final velocity acquired just before reaching the ground be v. Okay. So final velocity at position C just before the body reaches the ground, because once it reaches the ground it will come to rest. That means at a position, at an instant just before reaching the ground, final velocity is v. Initial velocity was 0. It was free falling. Okay. Initial velocity was 0. S is how much distance has it covered? It has covered a distance of h. Total distance is h. Therefore, this is h. And what is acceleration due to gravity is g. Clear? So let us calculate ke at this position. Okay. Let us calculate ke at this position. So we calculate v. Therefore, again from, I am showing it here. Okay. This is that for C. For C. This is ke for C. From the second equation of motion, v square equals to u square plus 2as. Therefore, v square equals to 0 plus 2 into, what is a? A is actually h. A is actually g and s is actually h. Okay. So 2gh. This means v square equals to 2gh. Now let us calculate ke. Now ke equals to half mv square equals to half m into 2gh. That means it is mgh. Okay. K is mgh. Okay. Ke at position C is mgh. So let us write down at position C, ke equals to mgh. Clear? Now just when it reaches the ground, at that position, all the potential energy has been converted to kinetic energy. So what is P at this point? P equals to mg into 0, because at this position, at ground, that means at ground, what is the height? Height is 0. Therefore, potential energy is 0. So let us calculate the sum of ke and P at position C. Therefore, ke plus P equals to mgh plus 0, which is equals to mgh. So we can find that in all the three cases, all the three positions, the total energy is mgh, mgh and mgh. Hence we can easily prove that the total energy of a system remains constant and k plus u is constant for a particular body. K plus u is always constant for a particular body. K is ke and u is potential energy. Clear? Is it very clear? Okay, so from the above experiment or from the above situation, we can conclude that the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy remains constant at each point of motion. Okay, and is always equals to the initial potential energy. We found that the sum is mgh at position A. It is also mgh at position B, and it is also mgh at position C. That means at all the three positions, that is position A, position B and position C, the sum of energy, that is kinetic and potential, remains constant and is always equal to the initial potential energy of the body. Now we also found as the body falls downward, the potential energy decreases and kinetic energy starts increasing. See, at position A, kinetic energy was 0. At position B, kinetic energy was mgx. That means kinetic energy increased, potential energy was mgh, but potential energy decreased at position B. And at this position, potential energy becomes completely 0. That means just at the instant when the body is about to strike the ground, the entire potential energy has been converted into kinetic energy. That is why the potential energy becomes 0 and kinetic energy becomes maximum. What is maximum? It becomes equal to the initial potential energy of the body. This clearly confirms that the principle of conservation of energy justifies for a free falling body. Okay.